Hi everybody, I'm Steve Ruddick.
And I am Wendy Wolfe, and today we are going to talk to you about the stress test. Oh my goodness, there's so much surrounding that. There's so much stress around the stress test. What is the stress test, Steve? Please dispel the myths.
Okay, stress test is, easily put, is these days the government of Canada does not want our housing market, which is in the multi-billions of dollars, to crash like it did in the States.
Okay.
Where people bought houses with next to nothing down, didn't have the income, nothing was verified, it was just a circus. And then everything crashed and people had to walk away from their houses.
Yeah.
And just lives were just destroyed. You think, a house is not a big deal, but it is the biggest purchase we will ever make. And if it's not placed properly in our financial lives, then it can cause us problems. Maybe not now, but somewhere down the road.
Right.
So the government said, we are going to keep things fairly even. Bank of Canada determines what the rates are, and then on top of that, prices are charged by various lenders. So the stress test itself means basically, if you are putting down less than 20%,
okay,
then you have to qualify for 2% over what the going rate is.
Okay.
Now, as we talk, the going rate is just about 3.19, 3.29 in that area, depending on what you qualify for. So you'd have to add 2% on top of that, which would mean you have to qualify for a little over 5%.
Okay.
If you can't, then you do not qualify to get a mortgage.
Understood.
Because it's thought that it's going to be too tight for you to actually have a life and actually own a house. And they don't want people handing in their keys. We just don't want that in this country.
Good.
So if you can't really afford a house, you don't need it. Take the time and save it. Rent an apartment, do something, save your money, buy yourself a house, but build it properly. So that's what it is. So it's actually, a lot of people say, well, it's a bad thing, young people can't buy houses. Well, that's true, but that's not a bad thing either, because they're not ready to own
Yeah.
houses.
And again, like we were talking about a couple of vids ago, that you don't want to be house poor. There's nothing worse than all you do is work to live
in your house. Have no furniture.
Pay off your mortgage and pay everything off, right?
That's right.
That's no life.
And that's no life. So my kids are amongst the younger ones, late 20s, early 30s. They want to have what their parents have, and they want it right off the stop, right off the cuff.
Right.
You don't start that way. You can't start that way. Financially, it just doesn't make any sense. The stress test is not a bad thing. So again, the good thing is, give us a call. We'll sit down, figure out what the deal is, and then at that. But also, 20% is not a bad benchmark, because over 20% down, 20% or more down, you don't have to pay mortgage insurance, which is again adding thousands and thousands of dollars to the cost of that house. So waiting is not a bad thing. Stress test, not a bad thing, but it is limiting some people in some areas.
Now, I do have some clients that when having taken the stress test, they didn't qualify. But we were able to secure some funding through private lenders.
Yes.
So there are options. They're a little more expensive, but it is doable if you don't have that full 20%. So maybe next time around we can talk about the different types of lenders and who can give you what and who you can go to and that kind of thing.
There'll be always someone to lend you the money, but you got to be careful what you're paying for that money.
100%. But some people, if they want that house, they don't care about that 12% interest rate that they could be paying.
And if you want that house, you call Wendy Wolfe.
There you go. All right, lenders coming up on our next video. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.